Hey everybody, hey, I just want to let you know that this is going to be the last video on the Buck Denver series. I know I talked about that we were going to start the New Testament, but Nathan and I and Kay talked about it. And since we're both actually coming to the end of our series, she's finishing, she's got like 2 more weeks of her Bible series, and I had just finished the Old Testament. And since we're so much more back together, we're going to bring an end to these series. But we do want to know from you if this has been like a crazy blessing to your family that you're like, we just can't do without that. We definitely would want to know that so that we can hook you up with resources. And if there's people who are like, I really like, this is our only connection to church, let us know that, because we may be able to record what we're actually teaching in church now. But we only want to do that if people are in need of that and people are looking for opportunity for that. So we finished up the Old Testament. Just want to do a quick review. Think about the Old Testament. Think about all the things that God has done. So we're gonna just talk through that Old Testament real quick. So first is Genesis, right? God creates the world, mankind sins, and then ultimately God brings provision to a family, right? The family of Abraham and his kids and his children's children. There's promises made. And then as that goes on, then they wind up in Egypt through Joseph, right? Joseph saved the people of Egypt, and he brought his family to come live with them during a drought. And then they wind up prisoners in Egypt, slaves, forced labor. And then Moses leads them out. Moses brings them to the promised land. Joshua brings them into the promised land. And then we enter the period of the Judges, where there's this cycle of people sinning and people following, and then sinning, and then following, and then sinning, and then following. And that cycle goes on. And God knows ultimately that there's no way that humans can ever make things right. So he sends prophets and he tells them to talk about the Messiah that would come one day, talk about the punishments that would come if they don't change their ways now, but ultimately to point people toward the Messiah that would come. And that Messiah, of course, is Jesus Christ. So grateful for the Old Testament, for all it teaches us about who God is, about who humans are in our nature, and about, more than anything, our need for a Savior. The Old Testament teaches us that better than anything in the world could, that we need a Savior. And it points to the Messiah that would come one day. That ends the Old Testament, right? The prophets come and some punishment comes to Israel. And then ultimately they come back just in time to rebuild the temple and the walls, and then wait. And they wait for the Messiah, who did eventually come. So that concludes our Buck Denver series. Again, like I said, reach out to us, please. If you're like, I really need some kind of video for my kids, my family. We'd love to figure out with you as a family what you need and what's best. All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful week. God bless.